Matt Tyndall, and my startup is Tinj, and we're all the way down on the right. Look for the purple Tinj name tag. So this Curve is the first product we'll be launching. It's like new. Been building a lot of stuff in the rating recommendation space, and Curve is something came up with in December. So, and I literally just got this site working today. So what Curve is the 2D rating system. So you can draw how you felt about something over time. So this can be rating an event, a show, your day, your productivity. And so the idea is that this information can be used for various things. So for instance, with a movie trailer here, what it's doing is it's scanning through. The idea is that you presumably watched the trailer, and that you can then rate which parts were awesome, which parts sucked. Explosions, there we go. So that would give you some context. And what it's doing up here is it's showing a trending average. And so there's lots of ways that we can represent this data to see how other people rated it. So the idea is that this is hopefully useful to help you make decisions. So if you want to try it out yourself, and this is me dogfooding the product, you go to curve.tinj.com, so curve.tinj.com, and it'll have this site here. So there's a few different elements you can select. So test if you just want to doodle or try around. The event, the speaker, Tinj, deal flicks, and pick collage. And so the idea is that you can rate how good my presentation was, how good the speaker's presentation was, what do you think of the event overall. So this is just one example of using this product. And you can type in some text, and if you upload it, it'll sync to the server. So this just got synced there. Yeah, there's a lot of things that people express interest in using this for. So everything from rating your day to happiness, employment stuff. Quick and easy way to provide feedback on something. So the idea is that you can draw a curve faster than you can type any sort of review. And not only that, but you can use, so do you want to see something that was like that? Or do you want to watch something that people rated that way? So the idea is that this is useful information, and we can also analyze it, do recommendations. There's a whole bunch of features that I'm not discussing. So.
Could you talk about your current target audience and some of the features?
So the target audience. So this is a consumer product, but the idea is it's meant like it's a B2B to C. So this is something that's meant to be embedded in on other people's sites. So think something like Twitter, where you can embed the tweets or the trending or stuff in whatever other interface you want. But the idea is that all the information goes through us, where we can analyze and do stuff. So some of the questions and issues. Let's see. So I'd like to know just how many of you would want to see this before deciding to click on a YouTube video, like what the curve was, how people liked it? How many of you would not want to see it? Okay, that's a positive thing. How many of you think you would actually put a curve in for rating an event? How many of you think this is something that would be easy to do, or you find easy to rate for something? How many of you would find this difficult to do? All right. Positive feedback. What else did I ask? Just keep asking random questions. How much time do I have? Who should I talk to get this and use for psych studies or whatever?
Yeah, we can talk about it. But the interesting thing I was telling Matt is a lot of times in psych experiments, we use sort of these scales that are from 1 to 7 or 1 to 11, And people are generally not very good at identifying where they stand on those scales. They just, like, what does a 5 relative to a 7 mean? Is the distance between a 5 and a 7 the same distance? So everything tends to be relative, and a lot of people have moved away from using those types of scales, and what they use is like distances. So like, how happy are you? It's like, this happy. You know, people are generally much better at identifying like relative distances than they are at those numbers. So this really taps into that ease in terms of people not needing to identify exactly what that like peak means or a trough means. It's just an easier way to measure it. I guess an interesting other thing to think about is how your experience changes as you're rating during the experience.
Yeah.
And right, like, is that a positive thing? Is that a negative thing?
Yeah. And how
do you want to take people outside of the experience? Is this really something? Is this something that would be more useful for the consumer, or is it something that would be more useful from a business standpoint? Right? Like, is it in terms of, yeah.
Hopefully it's useful in all of the above. So, I mean, obviously, business more interested in some data than others, but the idea is that this is useful if it was for like a TV show, for instance. This is useful for the person to express themselves. It's also useful information for their peers to see what other people, like social people thought. It's useful feedback for the content producers, right? So they know what worked, what didn't, and when they got the audience on board and when they lost them. And it's also useful for advertisers and for targeting, because you want to sell people stuff when they're happy, for instance. Maybe.
And in terms of that, like, do you want to do it during that event? Is it more important the ratings that someone gives during the experience, or is it after the experience? One could argue that it's just after the experience, because really,
I've gotten different. So this is a question that I've asked a few people, and I've gotten different answers. So if you're interested, you should definitely watch this TED Talk. There's a link to it in the menu. It's about the real experience versus memory by Tyndall of Tinj. So what it talks about is how you feel in the moment is different than how you remember feeling. And so if we had two curves, let's say, one drawn by somebody that you trust, how they felt in the moment, and another one drawn by someone you trust, how they remember the experience. Which one do you want to use to help you make a decision? Like watching a movie or watching a TV show. Do you want to know how they felt in the moment or how they remembered feeling once it was over? So one for the real-time rating. Raise your hand if you want that. And then one for the remembered curve. So we're split. So I don't know. We'll see.
So here.
Well, that's what people say. We'll see what people actually want.
Well, it's not so. And I guess that gets to something. People don't usually know what they want. They're really good.
Yeah, I don't. So
people are really good at rationalizing what they like and why they chose.
So people think they want one or the other.
So
we'll see.
So that's I'm advocating a test right here.
Yeah.
So
how?
what is it? So here's a test for you. You have people. You show them ratings for the experience. Let's see. Have people rate during the experience?
Yeah.
Have people rate after the experience?
Yes. Yeah. No, I definitely want to do the test.
Yeah. And
as soon as I just got this working today, so I haven't had time.
Yeah. And then present that information to other people, right? And see which one matches up best with people's remembered experiences.
Yeah.
In actuality, like, our experiences are what we remember, not what happened during the experience.
And it could vary a lot depending on the context of what type of
and
thing
what we tend to remember is not the full experience. We tend to remember peaks of experiences, right? So in that sense, perhaps you'd want, I would predict that you'd want the remembered experience rather than the ongoing experience. But something to see which one matches the actual preferences
I'd like to know.
that people have.
I don't know myself. So.
Right.
Anything else? That's it? Cool. Yeah, so if anyone's interested or knows someone I should talk to or knows someone who wants to use something like this product, let me know.